Hey guys, this is ViNerd right here. I hope you're enjoying the holidays and it's that time of year to make a prediction of what the best first-person shooter is of 2018. We got 10 months ahead of us and many cool games to choose from. I'll be going over the top 10 shooters that I'm most excited to play in 2018, starting from least excited to most excited, and remember, this is my personal list and I'll be going over the reasons along the way. Number 10 on the list is Hell Let Loose. This is a highly realistic World War II first-person shooter game in which the developers have built a 1-to-1 scale of various World War II battlefields. This is really cool for any history buffs out there or people who want a Milsim type shooters. It seemed like it could be sort of the World War II version of Squad. I hope the pacing of it is a bit faster, and that's mostly why it's number 10 on the list. It looks really cool, it looks highly authentic, the graphic looks neat. I'm just a little concerned that the realistic pacing may not be my personal thing, but then again it might be yours. Moving on to number 9, we have Escape from Tarkov. This dilapidated post-apocalyptic style first-person shooter borrows a lot from the Stalker franchise, and in fact I think has at least a few of the Stalker developers on board with the project. I love the first-person shooter Stalker, and a multiplayer scavenger version of that game sounds like a lot of fun. I do have my reservation as I have played the alpha a little bit, and although the realism or shooter mechanics of it and ambience of the world is all really cool, the gameplay itself I have found a little bit lacking, but maybe that will get refined in 2018 considering that this game is still very early in development. Number 8 on the list is Red Dead Redemption 2. Now this game would probably in my top 3, except that I'm primarily a PC gamer and Rockstar Games has not announced their title for PC yet. This is really unfortunate, but Rockstar makes such good open world exploration games that I can't wait for Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 1 was received with overwhelming praise from pretty much anybody who played the game, and fans have been waiting patiently for a follow-up. Now that it's almost here, I think it's going to be an absolutely huge game. I can't wait to play it. I personally like the Wild West setting of it so much. I think comparing it to Grand Theft Auto is a pretty fair comparison. I just prefer this setting over the GTA setting even a bit more. The writing, storytelling and graphics look like they're gonna be top notch and on par with what we can expect from Rockstar Games. Game number 7 on the list is Anthem. This made a pretty big wave at E3 2017. It's scheduled for a release in Q4 2018 and it looks like it's gonna be the Destiny competition coming from EA and BioWare. Now BioWare's got a long history of making some pretty solid games, and the fact that they are putting effort behind a giant open world exploration sci-fi shooter style game is pretty exciting. The visuals themselves are just nothing short of stunning and one of the better looking games I think showed up in 2017. And if the gameplay itself is really fun, then this could be absolutely a massive hit. We'll have to see how closely it mirrors the gameplay of Destiny, or maybe they take their own route. A lot of people don't really like the spongy shooter mechanics of Destiny games, so maybe this will take a different approach entirely, but it does seem to be heavily based around looting and shooting game. Game number 6 on the list is the System Shock reboot. Now the original System Shock came out way back in 1994. I realize many people probably have never played it, but this was incredibly innovative game. They combine action adventure with a lot of cool new emergent styles of gameplay. In fact, one of my favorite single player games of 2017, Prey, heavily borrows on many of the things that made System Shock a great game, and is probably more of a tribute game than anything. So if the System Shock reboot can capture that original magic and propel it into a 2018 gaming environment, then it could be an absolute excellent game set for release in Q4 2018. I'm very excited to get my hands on this one. Game number 5 on the list is something I'm quite excited for. This is one of those stories of game mode getting so popular that the developers made a standalone release which came out in 2014 called just Insurgency, and now Insurgency Sandstorm is bringing not only single player aspect of the game but updating the game from the Source engine onto the Unreal 4 engine, and it looks pretty darn cool. The gameplay features highly realistic modern military combat, often in a Middle Eastern setting, but the controls and the pacing and everything about it is more updated for modern shooter fans. So it's faster paced, simplistic controls, but it still embodies many of the things people might enjoy about highly realistic shooters. Now the single player aspect of this game, which will be the first single player addition to in the insurgency world, follows a female Kurdish freedom fighter. This is a pretty big departure from the standard shoot 'em up single player games, even the ones that take place in the Middle East, and this could be really interesting in a brand new take on the shooter single player experience. We'll have to wait and see if the New World Interactive's gamble on dividing their efforts for both multiplayer and single player pay off, but nonetheless I'm very excited to play an updated version of Insurgency. Game number 4 on the list is Hunt Showdown. This is a game that could be seen as jumping on the Battle Royale bandwagon, except that I think it was in development long before PUBG ever came out, and it's taking a completely unique and original direction on the game mode. Taking place in the early 1900s in swamplands of America, players will move around in teams of 2 using modded World War I style weapons to take out zombies, giant spiders and other demonic style creatures, as well as other players. So adding PvE element and bounty system to the game with certain high level monsters allows players to win the game in other fashions other than just eliminating all the other players, but PvP will still be a heavy element of the game. I'm really excited to see how this plays out. It's a completely different take on the Battle Royale genre, and the setting and ambiance of the games looks absolutely stunning and horrifying at the same time. Game number 3 on the list is PlayerUnknown's Battleground, and you might be thinking, oh ViNerd, this doesn't count, it's a 2017 game. It was in early access in 2017 and came out early access in 2017. It's not a 2018 game, and that's correct, but it's also a game that's being developed as a service, which means we are gonna see a huge amount of updates to PUBG in 2018. PUBG is not a finished game. It doesn't play perfectly, there's plenty of problems with the game design. And there's gonna be so much Battle Royale competition in 2018 that I think PUBG is gonna have to update its game design a little bit to stay competitive with that. The mid game is incredibly slow, and I'm curious to see how the developers update and mod the game to be more entertaining to watch, both from a tournament standpoint and be more entertaining to play from the average player standpoint. It's gonna be a highly competitive year for games, and I think just assuming that PUBG will stay on top of all 2018 is naive, and we're gonna see a lot of changes coming to this game and the Battle Royale genre. Game number 2 on the list is unsurprisingly Battlefield 2018, coming out in the holiday season as usual with Battlefield titles. This one is rumored to take place around the World War II theater of war. This is an unconfirmed rumor, but we'll have to wait and see. It could be very exciting. The current game of Battlefield 1 has really done all the legwork for balancing out a World War II style game mode, as the gameplay is very similar. Again, provided if this rumor is true, I think it is a bit risky that DICE is doing to historical shooters in a row rather than bringing a modern shooter into the mix and just mixing up the release schedule with modern historical. A World War II Battlefield is something that I haven't really played since Battlefield 1942. We saw it a little bit with Battlefield 1943, but that was a console-only release in a very limited slice of full Battlefield title. So this could be an absolutely epic and massive game. We'll have to see how the fanbase reacts to whatever DICE announces. Probably coming up in E3. Now, some of you might be surprised that Battlefield 2018 is not my number 1 game on this list, but that's only because Star Citizen Squadron 42 is something that has excited me even more than the next Battlefield title. And that's simply because they did a recent vertical slice of the game that showed off their single player, or at least part of a single mission of their single player, and that was exciting enough to really get me amped up for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. This game has unbelievable depth to it. The possibilities of what you can do in the Star Citizen universe are basically endless, and the single player looks absolutely excellent. We've already gotten a taste of writing and acting on it. Looks like they've really fleshed out a fully believable universe, and I cannot wait to jump into it. Fans of the game who have been following its development over the past 5 years will probably laugh at the idea that I think this could come out in 2018. But who knows, finger crossed. Maybe holiday 2018 is when we'll get our first taste of Squadron 42. I hope so. But if not, there's still plenty of development and updates that they're gonna do to the persisting universe has client that players can play right now, which I am nonetheless still very excited about. Anyway, that kind of wraps up my top 10 list. There's few honorable mentions there that I just didn't put in the list because I know I probably won't play them, or at least play them very much. One of those is Far Cry 5. Huge amount of Far Cry fans out there. It's gonna be a huge first person shooter title. And then there's Metro Exodus. Nothing against the Metro games, I just never really got into them that much, so I probably won't play the latest one, even though it does look very impressive. Let me know in the comments what your top 10 first person shooter games are for 2018. What do you think about my list, or if there's any other game that you think I missed out on that are actually gonna be absolutely huge. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is ViNerd signing out.
Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you play, far-reaching greatness, relentless, you survive.